Visalini Selvan. What if extraordinary intelligence appears earlier than society expects? What if brilliance does not arrive loudly, but grows quietly? In the right environment? Across the world, stories of gifted children are often reduced to numbers, scores, records, headlines. But behind every extraordinary mind is a deeper story. Today, we explore the life and journey of Visalini Selvan, an Indian child prodigy, whose early intellectual abilities captured international attention and sparked global conversations about intelligence, education, and human potential. This is not just a story about talent. It is a story about how talent is nurtured. It is a story about Visalini Selvan. If stories like this interest you, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe our channel. Turn on the notification bell for more, so you don't miss our next historical deep dive. So, let's start now. Chapter 1. Early Life and Indian Background. Visalini Selvan was born into an Indian family environment, where learning, discipline, and curiosity were deeply valued. From an early age, her surroundings emphasized observation, thoughtful questioning, and respect for knowledge. In many Indian households, education is seen not only as achievement, but as responsibility. Visalini's early years reflected this balance. She was encouraged to explore ideas freely, without excessive pressure. This foundation, rooted in guidance rather than force, played a critical role in her development. Chapter 2. Early Signs of an Exceptional Mind. As a very young child, Visalini began showing signs that her cognitive development was far ahead of typical expectations. She demonstrated early awareness of language, strong memory recall, a deep interest in patterns and meaning. What stood out most was her ability to concentrate. Her attention remained steady, where most children quickly moved on. She did not simply repeat information, she processed it. These signs were not the result of rigid training. They emerged naturally, driven by curiosity. Chapter 3. Family Support and Daily Life. One of the most important elements in Visalini's journey was her family's approach to learning. Rather than chasing recognition, they focused on balance. They provided emotional stability, intellectual encouragement, freedom to grow at her own pace. Despite her abilities, Visalini's daily life remained grounded. She was allowed to be a child, to learn, to rest, to explore. This balance protected her curiosity and prevented early burnout. Chapter 4. Identifying Giftedness Responsibly. As Visalini's abilities became more evident, formal assessments were used to better understand her learning profile. These evaluations confirmed that her intellectual abilities were far above age expectations. However, her family and educators treated this information carefully. It was not used as a label. It was used as a guide. This approach ensured that her giftedness expanded opportunities instead of creating pressure. Chapter 5. Communication and Clarity. What truly distinguished Visalini Selvan was not intelligence alone. It was expression. She could explain ideas clearly. She could reflect on learning. She could speak thoughtfully about curiosity and education. This ability allowed her to communicate confidently with educators and audiences far beyond her age group. Her clarity transformed her from a gifted child into a meaningful voice. Chapter 6. International Attention and Recognition. As awareness of her abilities spread, Visalini Selvan gained attention beyond national borders. As an Indian child prodigy, she became part of global discussions. about gifted education and intelligence. She was featured in educational forums, media interviews, youth-focused academic events. Audiences were impressed not only by her abilities, but by her calm and thoughtful presence. She did not seek attention. She engaged in dialogue. Chapter 7. Achievements and Public Recognition. Visalini Selvan became widely recognized for her exceptional cognitive abilities at a young age. Her achievements include recognition as a child prodigy, high-level intellectual assessments, invitations to speak on learning and education. But her most important achievement was influence. She encouraged parents and educators to rethink how intelligence is identified and supported. Chapter 8. Lifestyle and Personal Balance. Despite public recognition, Visalini's lifestyle emphasized balance. Learning was part of life, not the whole of life. Her routine included continued curiosity, age-appropriate activities, emotional and social development. This balance ensured long-term growth instead of short-term performance. Chapter 9. A broader message from India to the world. Visalini's journey represents more than individual success. It reflects a broader message, relevant to families around the world. That intelligence appears in many forms, develops at different times, requires understanding to thrive. Her story, rooted in an Indian upbringing, demonstrates how culture, guidance, and balance can shape potential. Conclusion: why her story matters. Visalini Selvan's story is not about being ahead of others. It is about being understood at the right time. As an Indian child prodigy, her journey reminds us that intelligence can appear early. Curiosity must be protected. Support matters as much as ability. Some extraordinary minds grow quietly. They do not demand attention. They wait for understanding. Visalini Selvan's story is one of those minds, and why recognizing potential early can change everything. If stories like this interest you, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell for more, so you don't miss our next historical deep dive. Thanks for watching.